Recording. All right. So I'll do the intro. I'll talk about Nick for a second. I'll introduce you, and then I'll probably just ask you what you knew about Donkey Kong beforehand, like as opposed to like a couple of days ago, what you knew before, like what I knew, and then I'll just kind of go into it.
Okay, hang on. What? God damn it. Hang on, John's gotta get in real quick. John's got to get his dresses and his makeup because he's a girl.
All right, that better not happen again. Tell him you're doing something for an hour. Tell him not
He
to.
knows what I'm doing.
All right.
Lucy doesn't. Lucy's on the show now.
Oh.
Giving it to her. Come on. You gotta get out because you're gonna want to get out. I can't let you out. Come on. Come on.
Oh my God, I'm already recording. I'm gonna air this part.
Lucy will get on and do some brain gremlin shit.
Yep. I want to talk about it. All right. I'm ready when you are. Do you have everything? You ready? Ready?
Yeah.
All right. All right. All right. The count of three. 1, 2, 3. Hello and welcome, Jesus Christ, to another episode of the What the Famicom podcast, the most important podcast you ever hear about gaming or gorilla-related things. You know, I'm here to tell you the truth. I'm not here to sugarcoat it. I'm here to expose. I don't like that. So we'll start again. We're just going to start again.
You suck.
I know everyone's different, and I kind of just want to get to the point of this one. I just want to like make it quick because we have a lot of information.
Okay.
So, all right. 1, 2. Jesus Christ. Hello, and welcome to another episode of the What the Famicom podcast, your number one source of probably the most important gaming information this side of Congo Island. Now, usually, if you've listened to this before, you know that I have a co-host, Nick, aka Nick Tendo. He is not here today, but I want to let our listeners know that he actually tweeted out that this podcast was truly life-changing and was the second best podcast he's ever been on. So if anyone is hesitant to give me a listen, or if you're, say, paralyzed from someone throwing barrels at you at a construction site, this podcast probably won't help that, but it will change your life. So I just want to let you know, he tweeted that, it's truly life-changing. So give me a listen, just check me out. So since he is not here, I have another co-host / guest with me. It's a special person to help me talk about this because I looked up my notes. Apparently, your nickname in high school was Conky Dong. I think the janitor gave that to you. I'm not sure, but
I gave it to myself actually. I went around it. Oh, you guys gotta call me Conky Don.
And everyone was just super confused.
And everyone was just cool with it, and they were like, "Whatever, nipples."
Yeah. Anyway, so I mean, this is my co-host for the day, Chris, who just so happens to be. Oh shit! I didn't know this until I just read this. You just happen to be my brother as well.
Brother podcast.
No, that's not. Nope.
This is a podcast about how we're brothers.
Nope, canceled.
Daniel, what was it like growing up with you?
Oh God. So welcome to the show. I'm gonna. You know what? I'll call you Chris Tendo.
Okay.
Or Conky Dong. If you want Conky Dong or Chris Tendo, it's either or.
I'm kind of trying to get away from Conky Dong. That's high school me. This is adult professional me.
Is it more like
Chris Tendo fits that?
Okay, Chris Tendo. All right. What did you know about Donkey Kong before you did research for this episode?
What didn't I know about Donkey Kong? Most of the things. I knew that Donkey Kong was in Donkey Kong, basically, and I knew I knew he had a whole new franchise that's been going since the 90s. I knew about all of Donkey Kong Country, but I really didn't know any details. I didn't know the current mythology of Donkey Kong. I didn't
Yeah, there's
know.
a mythology. Why is there a mythology
There's a,
for Donkey Kong? That is the
no,
craziest thing.
there's a Donkey Kong extended universe. It's
I know.
crazy.
It was an MCU before there was an MCU.
They're connected in so many ways.
Yeah.
Donkey Kong's got. There's even like disputes over who Donkey Kong's son is.
Oh, I know. Oh, we'll get there.
It's
Oh, I
Donkey
know.
Kong isn't the Donkey Kong anymore.
Yeah, I know. Okay, so I agree. I'm in your spot. I didn't know. I just recently played Donkey Kong Country. We didn't grow up with the Super Nintendo, so we didn't play that.
Yeah.
I knew probably about as much as you. I knew he had a cartoon show. But we're gonna dive deep. We're gonna peel the banana of the Donkey Kong mythology and find out what really makes him tick.
I had some bananas today to get myself in the Donkey Kong headspace.
Did you eat your own lice too?
Monkeys love their bananas.
Yeah.
Did the lice. I drew the line.
They love ties with their initials on them.
I do. I should. No, I wore the tank top. I went Donkey Kong Jr., so I wore a tank top with
a hat.
Jay.
Oh, the original Donkey Kong Jr. Or whoever. It's so fucked up. I don't know which one Donkey Kong Jr. is.
It's actually not a tank top. It's like a onesie because it covers his entire body.
So we're gonna start off with a word association. So I'm gonna say a word, and you just say the first thing comes to your mind. You ready? Donkey.
Yeah. Mario.
Wrong. Kong.
No. Wait, was wrong? Was I supposed to word associate to wrong? I've ruined this game.
Kong.
Peter Jackson.
Wrong. Oh my god. Okay.
Did I win?
The show's been canceled.
Oh fuck.
The
cards.
Put those two words together. You get the king of gaming which is crazy, almost 40 years. Donkey Kong.
It's like one of the most recognizable, most popular video game characters of all time.
Yeah.
Even if you don't know the modern stuff, everybody pretty much knows Donkey Kong as a video game.
Yeah. Maybe some people know Donkey Kong's a video game. Maybe they just think he's named something. If someone's grandmom's like, oh yeah, that's Donkey Kong, but they think maybe the monkey is named something else. Maybe they think that's, maybe people don't realize. It's the same thing with Marilyn Manson. Marilyn Manson is the name of the band, but also the guy. If that makes sense.
So people think Donkey Kong's a band?
I don't know. If old people are 80 something, they probably think he's Monkey Do or something.
No, it usually goes the other way. People will think Bruce Willis is named Die Hard. Usually if the title is something associated with someone that's not the character's name.
Wait. Your comparison is people think Bruce Willis's name is Die Hard?
Well, if Donkey Kong was just the name of the game and he was named something else, he was named Johnny Monkey. Johnny Bananas. Or
Johnny Bananas, I like that.
Johnny Bananas is a reality show guy. I'm sorry I brought that up. But people would assume his name was Donkey Kong even if it wasn't. You get what I'm saying?
What person is watching Die Hard thinking his name is Die Hard?
Stupid people who haven't seen Die Hard and are like, Bruce Willis played Die Hard, didn't he?
Yeah, I love that idea. Hey, it's me, Die Hard, coming to get you.
He played Liar Liar.
That was Jim Carrey's name in Liar Liar. His name is Liar Liar. I want to see all of these movies now renamed with their main characters. Such a great idea.
Wow.
All right. We're gonna do it. We're doing it. I'm going into the first one. We're talking.
We got Donkey Kong.
All right. For anyone who has been living under a pile of banana peels, Donkey Kong was an arcade game released in July of 1981 by Nintendo, and was also the main antagonist in the game. Jumpman was the main character. It wasn't Mario. His fucking name was Jumpman.
Mario was not always Mario.
No, he was this sleazebag named Jumpman. like on the artwork, on the cabinet artwork and the box art, you know, Donkey Kong's holding the woman like it's like King Kong inspired. He's holding the woman, smirking, smiling, having a good time, and Jumpman's behind him, looking like a fucking sleaze, like he's greasier than a piece of pizza. He looks so nasty. He's just trying to like because here's the story. Like it's so weird. I didn't realize this. So the plot of the arcade game was Jumpman mistreats his pet gorilla Donkey Kong, who grabs Jumpman's girlfriend Pauline and runs to the top of a construction site. Jumpman must save Pauline and defeat Donkey Kong. So first off, who has a pet gorilla? Why do you have a pet gorilla? Secondly, he beats him.
That too. I don't know that that's true. I found that online too, and there's a couple disputes over whether that's actually the case. That he was his pet.
Mario beat Donkey Kong is basically what's going on in this game.
Well, they're mortal enemies. Like, honestly,
yeah, this is what started it. He beat him.
I mean, they're both at fault. But
no.
Donkey Kong actually kidnapping innocent women. Did Pauline beat him?
Who knows? I don't know.
He was trying to hurt Mario by hurting the one thing he loved the most. Barrels?
Yeah. That's a good point.
I'm sorry, Jumpman?
Yeah, he's not Mario yet. He's Jumpman. He probably beat him with a plunger. It also wasn't established that he was a plumber yet. But he was wearing overalls. And I can't tell you if plumbers in the early 80s wore overalls. So if anyone's listening, look that up and let us know because... I
mean, they probably didn't have a uniform. I'm sure there were some plumbers wearing overalls with greasy Italian mustaches.
Yeah, he looked so nasty on this cover art.
Really?
Like, he was, even though you play as him, to me, he's the fucking protagonist. Or no, he's the antagonist. Yeah, Donkey Kong is the good guy.
Yeah, they don't give you the backstory of this abusive relationship. When you start the game.
It's disgusting.
Like, you're playing as Jumpman thinking you're the good guy.
Yeah.
The kids are like associating themselves like, yeah, I want to get this filthy gorilla who kidnapped my lady.
Yeah.
And I want to send him back to the zoo or
screw monkeys. I'm gonna wear his skin, his fur, and a coat. I don't know. That sounded really disgusting. I'm gonna wear his skin. I didn't mean to say that.
I'm gonna have his. I'm gonna wear his mane like Hercules did with Scar.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's just. I just thought that was crazy. Because I've already seen the artwork for the cabinet, the arcade cabinet, and like for the game, and I'm like, Donkey Kong is literally having the best time of his life in this cartoon picture, and Jumpman is here to ruin his life.
Well, what I read was that the original design of Donkey Kong was he was supposed to be a big, mean King Kong-y gorilla, and the creator, the designer, didn't like that. Thought he looked too mean, so that's why they made him look a little friendlier. So that's why it's a little easier to
root for him.
A little easier to believe that it's Mario's pet.
Yeah.
So he doesn't look like a big, mean, evil gorilla. Like he looks a little like just a goofy video game gorilla. So they actually changed it.
Maybe he was so mad at his parents for naming him a verb that he took out his aggression, his internal aggression out on this pet gorilla.
You know? It was like, "You're not my father."
No, that's not what he would say. There you go. We need a little Italian racism in this episode.
Where's Luigi during all this? Is this during the brief period where
I think Luigi was nicknamed? He was Sit Man, so I think he was just sitting on this one. He was just chilling.
Maybe at this point, you know about Luigi. This was before they started their plumbing business for Mario Brothers.
This was before Mario Brothers, the arcade game. I believe that came out in '82.
Cool.
So this was before Mario was even established. Luigi was established. Like the plumber thing was established, and they were just brothers. They weren't even super. So this is before he was even super.
Yeah, I would say not until Super Mario Brothers. I think Mario Brothers was. I feel like it wasn't as big. At least not from what I remember. Like I feel like
it wasn't. Nobody gave a shit.
Yeah, I feel like Donkey Kong was Mario's biggest claim to fame at this point until Super Mario Brothers.
Yeah. So the game, the original Donkey Kong, was created by Shigeru Miyamoto, Do you have any fucking clue who that is?
I assume he is a big Japanese video game pioneer.
Oh my God, I can't believe I even invited you on this
I
podcast.
do know about Radar Scope.
So, okay. You know what? Just listen. Oh, wait. I just heard what you said. I can't wait to talk about that. So, Shigeru Miyamoto created Donkey Kong. He created The Legend of Zelda. He created Star Fox, and he created Mario.
Oh, damn, overachiever.
So he's like the Tom Cruise of Japanese video game design. So I mean, if it was the guy that created Fortnite, you might know. You know, but the history of Donkey Kong, you already spoiled it. You fucking a-hole.
I teased it.
You teased it. Okay. The history of Donkey Kong actually started with the history of a little-known arcade game called. Take it.
Radar Scope.
They didn't say it like that at all.
Radar Scope.
Nope.
Steal your parents' quarters and play Radar Scope.
So Miyamoto was the code developer on that game, correct?
Yeah, I trust you.
Yeah. Okay. Wow. The game was released by Nintendo in December of '79. It was an arcade game. It was literally like Space Invaders. It was literally like Galaga. It was.
Yeah, that's what I thought, and I was wondering how they. I thought when I read that it was basically reformatted from a previous game, that it was going to basically look like Donkey Kong, but with like somebody else.
Yeah, that's the crazy thing. It looks nothing like it, and the worst thing is, it looks like every other game that came out in the '70s.
Right, it basically looked like you said, Space Invaders.
Yeah, it looked like garbage.
I was really disappointed.
Yeah, it was the same as literally every single '70s arcade game. For a couple years in the mid '70s, I think the late '70s, Japan was really trying to. I mean, Nintendo was really trying to have a huge hit in America because they were a lot of their games were hits in Japan, and Radar Scope started to become a hit in Japan. They were like, you know what, we need a hit in America. All this money we made from Radar Scope, we're taking our entire budget, we're shipping these to America, straight to New York City, and they're going to sell like hotcakes. And you know what happened?
I bet they sold like crap cakes.
That, you know what, that's a pretty accurate statement because the president of Nintendo took the entire budget, shipped 3,000 arcade cabinets of Radar Scope to the United States. It took 4 months. They shipped them by boat. Literally, they put probably like 100 on each boat or something like that because it took 4 months for all the arcade cabinets to get to New York. By the time they got there, nobody cared, which is my favorite part because obviously if you're shipping things by boat and it's taking forever, nobody is fucking gonna care about your stupid ass game.
They were probably trying to build anticipation on the internet.
Like it's coming. When's it coming? Oh, it's coming. Just wait a couple months.
Ready for Radar Scope.
Yeah. So they got there and nobody cared, and they only sold 1,000 of the arcade cabinets across the entire country. So they had the rest just sitting in a warehouse, absolutely doing nothing. And they were just like, "What? We have to take the loss. We have to take the hit." And the president of Nintendo was somehow able to convince the CEO of Nintendo at the time to give him more money. He already took like all the money from the budget that they made making Radar Scope, it being a hit. And he was like, wait, yo, I got an idea. Give me more money. I don't have a game idea yet, but just give me money and I'll think of something. So the CEO of Nintendo is like, yeah, sure, whatever, man. Like, get the fuck out of here. I'm going to fire you if you come back anyway. So the president of Nintendo made an offer to every single Nintendo employee. And he was like, anybody that has any kind of idea, just fucking send them my way. And I want anybody's idea. And he took everybody's idea, and the one that was picked was by a young code maker who actually was part of Radar Scope, and that was Shigeru Miyamoto. He was a graphic artist, and he was my main man, you know? I'm kind of friends with him. I talk to him every now and then.
Oh, do you? Call him right now. Get him on this podcast.
My phone, his landline's broken.
Going through a tunnel? Is that what's happening?
Yeah, we're going through a tunnel with this podcast.
Okay.
So that happened, and also the guy that helped supervise Shigeru Miyamoto with like making the game and like, you know, distributing it and stuff. His name was Gunpei Yokoi, and I've never heard of him, but he helped supervise the creation of the game. But this guy, get this, this guy's even crazier. This guy created the Game & Watch series, the Game Boy, the D-pad on every single goddamn controller that you've seen, and he created Metroid. So this guy that helped him, which is like supervising him, already made like made a million other things that are also super famous. So they're just swimming in fucking money right now. I think actually Gunpei's actually dead. Sorry, Gunpei.
Wow. Way to bring the room down.
Yeah.
This just got depressing.
Yeah, I know. I wish I had like a soundbite that was like bagpipes. But anyway, like I don't know how you put it, but like, I guess because Miyamoto didn't really make those things yet. This is like his first thing, but the legacy of like what these guys wound up doing, it's just insane that they were like these two guys that would become huge like 10 years later. We're just working on this game because their CEO was like, "Yo, hurry up, make a game." Like,
we got to make some money off this failure, which is really impressive.
Yeah, Miyamoto actually based the idea off of they had a license to a Popeye game, which later got released.
Oh, I did read that. Yeah, and I remember that Popeye game.
Yeah, it later got released, but I think originally the Popeye game license got canceled when they were trying to like get it at the time.
Yeah.
So they were like, "Oh well, shit! Like, there's nothing we could do." Like, they were asking for software, so they already paid for the hardware. They were like, "We can just take out Radar Scope out of these machines. So just make a new game. We already have all the cabinets." And the Popeye license fell through. And I mean, I can imagine that. I don't remember what the Popeye game was, but was it basically Donkey Kong?
From what I remember, I should have looked it up. Sorry, my bad. The Fanicons or whatever you call your three people.
Wow, that's a really good name. What the Fanicons? Holy shit!
I coined it. You gotta pay me for it.
No, I stopped recording when you said it, and then I re-recorded.
But from what I remember from being around in the 80s, I think it was really similar to Donkey Kong, where you were probably collecting spinach. But I think like the Sea Hag was throwing shit at you, and you were dodging it. I just remember it being sort of similar, just with Popeye instead of Mario.
From what you remember of the 80s, how old are you?
That is unimportant. I am a millennial. I am 26 years old.
Wait a minute. That doesn't make sense. You told me you were 17 when we started recording.
I honestly think I think I am a millennial. I think the cutoff is like right before I was born. I forget. Or I'm the one in between. I looked it up one time. I'm not a millennial.
Wow, you're a scumbag. You're a scumbag millennial. You're just as bad as sleazy sausage Jumpman.
He's my hero.
Yeah, you probably look like him. We've never met, so I don't know what you look like, but.
Wait, what? I do have a very greasy mustache.
Perfect.
But I put that on for special occasions.
Like today.
Yeah, like today. So I'm wearing that for this podcast. You can probably hear the hairs.
Yeah, you can hear it bristle off against the microphone. So there was only a 4-man team making the game, like under Miyamoto, and he wanted to just make 4 levels, but kind of the same thing, but like faster and more barrels, or like the construction light level was like a little weird, and they were just like they were kind of annoyed because they were like, "Wait, you just want us to make the same thing 4 times? What the fuck's wrong with you?" So they were simple. He wanted to do it 4 times. They had a simple soundtrack. It was easy to make. Another funny thing is in between levels, I think it started off when you start the start screen. It's like, oh, how high can you get? And that's like your progress level. It's like your progress of like the 4 levels. Right. And it's like it's an abused Donkey Kong, which is really funny. He just looks beat and defeated. So that's the whole point. Like you beat Donkey Kong, but he literally is beat. It's like
he's one of those cartoon black eyes, probably.
Yeah, he really does. This whole game is based off of animal abuse, which is funny, I guess.
Again, if and I don't know about the validity of this backstory that he was Mario's abused pet.
No, I love it. I want it to be true.
That. But I mean, he is the bad guy.
No, not to me.
Donkey Kong is the star of the game, but also the villain.
I mean, coming from someone nicknamed Conky Dong, of course you wanted to be the bad guy.
That is for different reasons.
Yeah. Man. So I'm going to get into some tech nerdy stuff. So
Why? Nobody wants to hear that.
gotta. For anyone listening, what they did was just replace the software, obviously, because they didn't want to make another Space Invaders clone. So the Donkey Kong hardware had the memory capacity for displaying 128 background sprites and 16 by 16 pixels each, and 256 background tiles at 8 by 8 pixels each. So Jumpman, so each thing had different pixel count and sprite count. So Jumpman and all the moving objects like the barrels and the hammer used a single sprite. Pauline was a little bit bigger. She used 2, and Donkey Kong used 6. And because the machine and the CPU created for radar scope was programmed, that was supposed to be like a fast-paced game, or it was a fast-paced game, and it was programmed to be like a lot of enemies on screen and kind of fast-paced. So they were able to like take out a lot of stuff of the CPU and like, we don't need this, we don't need this. We could take this out to make our shit run faster. So it's just funny that they cleared out a lot of room on the CPU to help their ROM run faster on the arcade cabinets. So that's pretty interesting. Also, do you know why it's the name Donkey Kong?
I do know why it's called Donkey Kong.
Then fucking say it.
Because it's Donkey Kong. Why wouldn't it be called Donkey Kong, you moron? No. Because Kong's apparently a common phrase for apes in Japan, which I assume, I don't know if it predates King Kong, but it probably doesn't. King Kong
What,
is probably,
the word?
yeah. I would assume King Kong is where it originated, but and then Miyamoto, did I get the name right?
Of course not. You're an asshole. You don't respect other cultures.
Oh, quiet. I did get it right.
No, you
He
didn't.
saw it. He was told, he called him Donkey because he wanted the character to seem stupid, but he didn't realize donkey wasn't a slang word for idiot in America. And then he was like, you know what? Fuck it. It's a cool name.
So he was trying to call us stupid American apes.
Basically, this is a racist game. He has a greasy Italian stereotype as
Holy
a hero.
shit.
And the prototypical American is the dumb monkey who just grabs women and throws barrels. Wow, this is
We just cracked the code on Miyamoto.
Yeah.
Get this. I mean, yeah, he created Zelda. That's probably sexist, right? I don't know. There's probably
wait for your Zelda episode. Did you do one? I don't listen to your show.
I'll never do a Zelda episode. I refuse to.
Why not?
Also, Star Fox. That's probably fucked up. You probably can't make that in 2019.
Yeah, I'm sure there's so many racist and sexist stereotypes in that game.
Oh my god.
They're all problematic.
I think Fox is the N-word like 50 times in that first game.
From what I remember, it's the opening line.
Yeah, it's the very first word.
It's just with him screaming.
It's the very first line of spoken dialogue in a Super Nintendo game, and also it's in text, big text. Do you remember? So real quick, side thing. Do you remember the old issues of Nintendo Power? Like probably late 80s, early 90s. Every cover was like, it wasn't a picture or art. It was like a puppet or like a claymation version of something.
Yeah, there were a couple of those.
Yeah, so I remember Mario, and I remember that just made me think of, I think it was for Star Fox, but also Star Fox's like box art was like puppet characters, and it freaked me the fuck out for so long. Because they were real. You could see like the hair on their face and stuff like that, and it was so disgusting, and I hated it.
You didn't like them becoming 3-dimensional?
Yeah, they were too 3-dimensional. They were like
To be
the fifth dimension of animal.
16-bit.
It's what Sonic is, anthropomorphic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why making these characters into live-action movies is weird.
Yeah.
And they're never going to look right unless they look like cartoons.
Yeah.
Unless you make Sonic look like a cartoon, don't try to make him real.
Yeah, he has teeth. I think they got rid of the teeth, which is good.
Yeah, they're redoing them.
All right.
Yeah, that movie's a mess.
Back to Conky Dong. Oh wait, I mean Donkey Kong. So when he suggested that name, Donkey Kong, everybody just laughed at him.
What?
Everyone just thought he was an idiot.
Like Rudolph?
Like
They
Rudolph.
laughed and called him names?
Yep.
They were like, you don't get to play our Nintendo games.
Yep.
I like this.
And also, what the fama fact that all of the heads-up display from the game was all from Radar Scope.
Oh, really?
So the score, the way like the scores patterned, the way like all the numbers are on the sides and bottom and top, it's all from Radar Scope. Like they just kept that part. It's just a different color. So I mean, Donkey Kong was Nintendo's first huge hit in America and their first worldwide success. Even though it's super racist and it's making fun of Americans, and
all right,
and it's supposed to be Popeye.
I remember playing Donkey Kong at like Pizza Hut.
Do you really?
Because Pizza Huts would have, I don't know if any have them anymore, but they would have tables where you would eat your pizza, but there would be tabletop video games.
Ew, so you're fucking old, dude.
Tabletop arcade game. There was like Pac-Man. I'm pretty sure Donkey Kong was in there. And you would eat your pizza on the table, and you would also be able to play a video game on there. It was the best.
It actually genuinely sounds like the best. Get this, as of 2019, the original Donkey Kong was released 20 different times on different consoles. And weirdly, each time it was re-released, or just released in general, they cut out one of the 4 levels that are in the original arcade version. God knows, I have no idea why.
So they would cut one and add one, or they would just...
No, they would just cut one. Like, it would be a random one that they would cut. But in each of the re-releases, they'd be like, let's take out 3. Let's take out, like, the first level.
Yeah, that's brilliant, because then you have to buy them all to get the whole game. I get it. Yeah. Money. About money. What Nintendo cares about.
I was going to read the systems it came out on, but there's literally so many. The last time it came out was 2006 on the Wii Virtual Console. It was the original. I don't remember getting that.
Because it's an all-timer, man. You can always play Donkey Kong because it's just fun. You can just run off the construction site, dodging barrels. He's up there.
Yeah, the theme music. I got to remember the theme music because I do remember it because it's like haunting because it's
epic.
Yeah, because he like climbs up the construction thing and slams it and makes them all break. But he's the hero, and I love him. I love you, Donkey Kong.
Epic feel. That's why they used it for the finale of Pixels.
Whoa, we'll get there. But, so,
what I wanted to bring up real quick. I want to bring up something real quick. I'm taking over your show. Is the fact that even though he wasn't Mario at the time, he wasn't Nintendo's mascot at the time, like he wasn't a big shit at the time. Mm-hmm. He was just Jumpman. Donkey Kong was like his first nemesis, so it's kind of weird that not weird, but I kind of feel like it would have made more sense if they ported Donkey Kong over when they started Super Mario Brothers and had him take over the Koopa role. Like if Donkey Kong had become
King Koopa, that makes total sense. Why wouldn't they do that?
Like instead of Koopa or Bowser, like it had been like Donkey Kong.
Actually,
like the evil master.
I think because they were still making Donkey Kong games, they were like, let's not cross yet, maybe.
I mean, true enough, but I mean, it's not like he was having his own mythology. Like he was still just a villain, basically. Except for one time.
All right, get this: if what you wanted came to be, and they made a Super Mario Brothers movie, who would you want to play Donkey Kong instead of Dennis Hopper?
No, it's still Dennis Hopper.
Would it still be Dennis Hopper? Okay, Dennis Hopper as Donkey Kong.
Just as Donkey Kong. Movie wouldn't have been better or worse.
Wait, his whole line in that movie, he keeps saying like mammals and stuff like that. He wouldn't be saying that because isn't a monkey a mammal?
Because he hates himself.
Oh my god!
It would add a whole new psychological layer to the character. Holy shit!
He would have been psychologically fucked. He would have been like.
He turns that one construction guy into a monkey, or the mobster, or whoever he turns into a monkey at the end, and then laughs.
It's the opposing plumbing company, I think.
Yeah, but aren't they like the mob?
Yeah, it's something like that.
Yeah,
Spadelli, or something like that. Yeah, I just watched it recently. I don't care.
Not gonna confirm or deny anything.
Wait, can we make that a rumor? Can we make that monkey that gets turned into the dude that gets turned into the monkey in the movie Donkey Kong or Diddy Kong?
Oh my god! That.
Can we spread that rumor?
Donkey Kong first live action appearance.
Holy shit! It's his first and only live action appearance.
Donkey Kong is a human who was turned into an ape by King Koopa. Went berserk, started kidnapping women, and it was a construction site. So
Yeah.
oh my god.
Wait, do you think they holy shit? Do you think they realized what they were doing?
I don't. That movie's not smart enough.
I don't think they knew what they were doing. I think that he gets turned into a monkey. He gets pissed at Mario because Mario's the reason all this happened. Mario's the reason why they all went back to Earth at the end of the movie. You know? Holy shit. So get this. Mario Brothers is a prequel. Donkey Kong is a sequel.
So then where's Luigi? Did he kill Luigi? Is that where?
Yeah, he snapped him. He's a fucking monkey. He snapped Luigi's neck. Yeah, he ripped Luigi's spine out. He's a giant gorilla.
Oh my god.
So he took John Leguizamo. So that was the unmade sequel. This monkey finds John Leguizamo where they live. He rips his spine out.
Is it like, do they recast him like Mortal Kombat Annihilation and then just kill the recast actor?
Yeah, it's Ruben Glades.
He's way older than John Leguizamo.
Ruben Glades and Bob Hoskins show up, and Ruben Glades takes off sunglasses and says, "This is not good," like Johnny Cage. And then
Luigi's
the monkey mobster runs over Luigi, beats his chest, kills him, and looks at Mario. He's like, he still has a tie on. I think in the end of the Mario Brothers movie, since he's a mobster, he's wearing a shirt and tie. He keeps the tie because that's Donkey Kong's iconic look. Holy shit!
Actually be a Donkey Kong reference.
Oh my god!
Was that in '93 when he had the tie?
That was '93, yeah.
But no. Did Donkey Kong have a tie at that point?
No. So Donkey Kong didn't get a tie until '94. So this movie gave them the idea. Holy shit! My mind's blown right now. That's crazy.
Donkey Kong needs a tie to make him look all businesslike.
Wait a minute. In that Mario Brothers movie, he looked amazing with that shirt and tie. No, if only.
Hey, fellas, have I got an idea for you?
So, I mean, holy shit, my mind just blown. I pieced that together in the moment.
I do have to add that instead of taking off the sunglasses and saying this is not good, he would be taking off the mustache and saying this is not good.
Perfect. Ruben Glades, if you're listening, we need you. The last thing I remember you being in. Is he dead? He's not dead, is he?
He's not dead. Wow, he doesn't follow this podcast anymore. You think he's dead?
If he did.
We just lost him.
The last thing I saw him in was Once Upon a Time Mexico. I'm sorry, Ruben.
He's working. He's out there.
Oh, my God.
He's a fantastic actor. We apologize, Mr. Blades.
I don't apologize. You were super sweaty in Predator, too. I don't apologize for anything.
Everybody was Predator, too.
Yeah, that movie was disgusting. Every single person was sweaty. Anyway, back to DK. Back to the man himself.
Anyway.
So, with his worldwide success, he became a megastar. Donkey Kong, every female gorilla probably wanted him. He probably forgot to use a monkey condom. And I think, did he get someone pregnant? Because, Chris, are you going to tell me he has a son?
He has a son. And you're right. I don't believe there's a woman involved till way later.
So that doesn't make okay. I don't know how this makes sense.
How does what make sense? He has a boy.
He has a boy, but who did he have sex with?
Well, I believe that's revealed. Do you want to get into some Donkey Kong Country mythos?
Let's keep it Donkey Kong Jr. and we'll try to connect the dots.
Because I was going to say, I think I know who his mom is.
Okay. Oh my God, that'll be a great revelation at the end.
I doubt it. It's not really.
All right, tell me about DKJR.
Oh, what can I tell you about Donkey Kong Jr.? Donkey Kong Jr. is actually a outlier in any of these games, any of the Donkey Kong series, any of the Super Mario Brothers series, because you'll never guess who the villain is.
I know. Oh my God.
Villain.
Pauline.
That would be a great twist. Turns out she was behind everything. She was the one abusing the monkey.
Yeah, of course.
But no, the villain is your favorite greasy Italian, not yet a plumber, stereotype Jumpman.
Is it Jumpman or Mario?
I still think he's Jumpman at the time. Nah, he might be Mario. It's
Perfect.
82.
I love it.
He might be Mario. I don't know. We know him as Mario. Nobody's calling him Jumpman. You only call him Jumpman to seem like a know-it-all dick to other people.
I love it.
Like, did you know? Like, this whole podcast is.
Yeah, it's basically
You know
this
that
whole podcast that's
Jumpman-
this pretentious piece of shit. Because I'm like, did you know? 'Cause I knew.
Bet you didn't. Anyway. So Donkey Kong Jr.'s premise is that Mario actually caught Donkey Kong, and for some reason is keeping him prisoner. I don't
Did he already
understand
keep him
that.
prisoner by beating him?
I guess, but like he's holding them hostage or something. And Donkey Kong Jr. goes to save his dad. It's actually sweet. He's been locked
I
up by
remember
Mario.
that.
Donkey Kong Jr. travels through his 4 levels, and he has to climb vines. And it's not the construction; it's a different environment, which is cool. But he has to climb and jump vines. I do remember playing this. This was
I
this was
remember the gameplay. I didn't remember this. I didn't remember Mario being the bad guy. And
yeah, trying to
like,
rescue your
what was
father
going
from
on.
the
I remember the vines though.
classic villain Mario. Ugh, I hate that guy.
Yeah, I remember playing this in like a dentist office. Not really know what I was playing.
That's all these old games. Like they're just things that are happening. Like you don't really get into the story of any of them because they didn't have the technology to get into any story. So it's all just really simple, basic premises, and you're just like, I'm going to drop fruit on these monsters. Cool, all right. I'm playing a monkey.
Wait,
Yeah,
who did he drop fruit on?
he would drop fruit on the different creatures. I believe there are things called snapjaws.
Wait a minute. So the first one took place on a construction site. Where does this take place?
It was like the jungle. Mario, for some reason, captured Donkey Kong, brought him back to the jungle, which
Why would he bring it back to the jungle?
to set him free. Like to go, you live here, stay away from human things. I'm racist against you.
Yeah.
But he keeps him locked up, and his son has to save him. Son has to find all these keys to let his dad out.
Okay, I do remember that. I remember the keys being part of it.
And then it's the same move as in the first game, where every time you get to the top, like Mario, I guess, grabs Donkey Kong, laughs, and runs to the next level, and you gotta chase him.
God, this is disgusting.
It's actually a good twist for a sequel.
People praise Mario to this day, and they want to keep this. This is like, what can I think of? Like something that a company that takes out like a part of history of it, like Songs of the South. Like Disney wants to forget about Songs of the South.
Nintendo's Song of the South.
Oh my God, this is
It's like-
Nintendo's Song of the South. I can't wait to tell everybody this.
I mean, I haven't played the game in a long time, so maybe it is. There might be a lot of stuff in there that's uncomfortable, but I think just based on the premise, it's a decent idea for a sequel and a follow-up. You add a new character, do a Terminator twist. We're like, oh, you think Mario's the good guy? Oh, no, he's the bad guy this time. He's the T-1000.
Oh my God, yeah. DK 1 and 2 is like T1 and 2. Holy shit.
Because all of a sudden, Donkey Kong is the good guy because Donkey Kong is popular than the little jumpy man.
So who's Sarah Connor?
I guess Donkey Kong Jr.?
Yep.
Well, no, wait, because Donkey Kong Jr. is the hero. So, I don't know. I guess maybe.
No, I think Sarah
Jr.
Connor's the Vines.
She's the Snapjaws. There's another monster.
Perfect.
I don't have the name in front of me, but there are other monsters in this.
We're coming to so many revelations about Donkey Kong. This is amazing.
Making me sad about these classic games of my childhood.
Why? They're still around.
They are,
because
but
you're
now when
old?
I watch them, I'm disgusted with myself. Now when I play them,
Yeah. Well,
you're making Donkey Kong do Kevin Spacey.
Oh
You're
my
making
God.
Mario Kevin
We
Spacey.
talk about him a lot on this podcast, which is weird. I didn't even bring him up on this one. You
You
did.
should.
I probably shouldn't, yeah. Did you know he loved playing Final Fantasy VII?
Was he in it? What was the video game he was in? He was in a Call of Duty, wasn't he?
He was in a Call of Duty. I bet you whatever bro plays that game still probably feels really great about themselves. I think he's like the president in it or something.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
It was either right
Face.
before or during
Shit.
House of Cards. So yeah.
Perfect. That's amazing. I love that he's immortalized as like the president of a Call of Duty game.
He's in lots of stuff. We don't have to worry about that.
Yeah.
Your show just.
So is there anything you got anything else for me with DK2 or DKJR?
The game, no. I mean, the game's didn't go in all the technical specs like you did. I didn't know that was part of this. I'm not doing any math, but which leads me to Donkey Kong Jr. Math, which was an actual math game that spun off with Donkey Kong Jr.
Wait, so they come out at the same time?
A year later, he came out in Donkey Kong Jr. Math, which was just like, I guess, an educational game where Donkey Kong stood at the top of the level, holding a sign with a random number, and Donkey Kong Jr. or DKJ, as we're calling him apparently. Like
DKJR.
He had to climb around vines and gather the right mathematical equation that equaled the number that Donkey Kong was holding up.
Wait a minute. So he's not kidnapped in this one?
Like a 4, and you had to collect 2 plus 2.
So he's free in this one.
He's free. Apparently, this is post Donkey Kong Jr. I guess they kill Mario at the end.
So you would consider Donkey Kong Jr. Math a sequel to Donkey Kong Jr.?
I would say yes. It's like not really a spinoff. I would say it would be like a special, like the Toy Story animated specials.
Don't you bring up that Toy Story?
Because it's not like a full game. It's just like it would be a mini game in any modern video game.
I just want to know if it's before Donkey Kong Jr. the game, because do they know that Donkey Kong's about to get kidnapped and beat and cattle prodded?
Oh, so you're saying?
I'm saying they're having a good time collecting numbers, and then like 5 minutes later it happens.
So this is a prequel to both Donkey Kong games. So Donkey Kong is teaching his boy math. Then all of a sudden, Mario. Well, wait. Mario captures him to bring him back to the jungle?
Wait, yeah. So they're in the jungle first. He's teaching them math. Mario is like, or Jumpman's like, "Oh, where are you?" And like kidnaps him, beats him. Junior saves him.
Because of his deep psychological issues.
Yeah, Donkey Kong's so fucked up. He's like, I have to go after my master now.
You will remind me of my shortcomings. I will beat you with this.
So Donkey Kong Jr. goes back to this New York construction site, grabs a woman. I don't even think. Is it established that Pauline is Jumpman's wife, girlfriend?
I think it's supposed to be his girlfriend. But I think it's a King Kong scenario where he probably kidnaps him for money, and he puts him on Broadway, and then Donkey Kong escapes and runs to a construction site.
Perfect. That makes so much sense, especially in this podcast. So I love that you brought up the math game, because I vaguely knew that, but not really. I knew there was like an offshoot game, because they were just trying to like push Donkey Kong all over the place. Like, oh, look, he's here. Look, he's here. He's on the Famicom. Look, he's on the Nintendo. He's on arcade still. But it's his son. Yay. So I just think it's funny that...
Smaller and cuter.
Yeah, and you said he's wearing a tank top.
He's wearing... it's more of a onesie. It's a onesie with a J on it, so you don't get them confused, I guess.
Wait, it's a J?
For Junior.
Why would he have to wear a onesie that says J on it? Donkey Kong's not wearing it.
Him and his dad confused.
But wait, does Donkey Kong have a shirt that has an S on it?
No, but if they were both naked monkeys, you'd be like, which one's which? Even though one's smaller, you probably.
Yeah, but it wouldn't matter to Mario. He's just a sicko. He would beat both of them.
That's right. But he wants to know who he's beating.
Mario wants to know who he's beating. So he gave them the tank tops. He gave them the onesies. Oh my God. That's why in the future, you see all these characters with ties, hats, like with different distinguishing features, because Mario gave it to him because he wants to know which one to beat on which day. Oh my God. Jesus Christ.
Mario is one sick fuck.
Yeah. So I love...
I don't like this new Mario.
Yeah, I mean, the old Mario, I guess.
I can
I love the lack of lore for Donkey Kong, but I also love the lore because
I'm I'm
what?
reading this Game Boy description now too that I hadn't read. Donkey Kong Game Boy has a weird plot too. I don't know if you saw any of that.
Yeah, the what from '94?
Yeah,
Yeah, go ahead, read it.
Donkey Kong Jr. teaming up with his dad, and they kidnap Pauline, and then Mario has to defeat both of them. So I guess this post they just keep getting revenge on each other back and forth.
Yeah,
Because I assume this is a sequel to Donkey Kong Jr.
that's the first. So that's the first game that introduced where he introduced him wearing the tie. I think it's just a remake, sort of like a combination of Junior and the original, and with Mario's name instead of Jumpman, and they just put it on the Game Boy. I think I had it. I feel like I fucking had it.
Poison mushrooms at him during the game.
Oh my god, what a...
And then in the end, Donkey Kong Jr. Pauline gives Mario a super mushroom to catch Donkey Kong. Donkey Kong Jr. gets free because I guess at some point he gets captured and saves his dad. And then in the end, they take a picture. This is
No
nuts. I think they become friends by the end.
That's disgusting.
Sounds amazing.
So, well, before that came out, so they already have the established lore of Donkey Kong and Donkey Kong Jr. So, what do you do for an encore? You obviously have to come out with Donkey Kong 3. So, get this. I mean, Donkey Kong 1, or Donkey Kong was 81, Donkey Kong Jr. was 82, and Donkey Kong 3 came out in 83. So, all of these were before, like, Mario was super established. So, think about that. Like, this is... I think Super Mario Brothers, I believe, came out in 85, even in Japan, 84, 85 for the Famicom and Nintendo. But he wasn't established, so like, I don't know why they're not stepping on his toes, like using him for everything. Because get this, you're talking about outliers with like Donkey Kong Jr. Donkey Kong 3 is like the Highlander 2 of Donkey Kong games.
Oh my god. It's awful.
You know, well, sort of. So basically, forget everything you know about Donkey Kong before.
Is that the tagline?
Yeah. Remember all the things you loved about Donkey Kong? Yeah, just fuck them, forget them. Donkey Kong 3 was released in arcades and the Famicom in October 1983. It was later released on the Nintendo in 84 in Japan and then in America the next year. So the plot here is there's no Mario. The game is about a guy named Stanley the Bugman.
Classic Nintendo character.
Donkey Kong, for some reason, has taken refuge in a greenhouse, and it's Stanley's job to stop Donkey Kong from causing havoc by like releasing bees and insects and stuff like that. So Stanley uses like a bug spray, and Donkey Kong climbs up these two vines. He bangs on beehives, and bees just come out. Now, he is just a straight up dick in this game. Like, he's the antagonist that like Nintendo wanted us to think he was, and the other ones he's kind of just like, oh shit, I'm kidnapped. Oh no, I want to get away from my abusive owner. This one, he's just a monster.
He's just become a raging beast.
Yeah. So I don't know why they didn't use Mario or Jumpman, because like I said, like maybe at this point, maybe Mario Brothers, the original, came out in the arcades already, so they were just like, all right, let's not use him. So, but he still wasn't famous. Like, Super Mario Brothers didn't come out. Another weird thing about this game is it's similar to Radar Scope, which was the game.
Radar Scope.
Yeah, which is the game that didn't sell well, and they rewired to become Donkey Kong because it was too much like Space Invaders. This game, you're on the bottom of the screen, you're shooting upward at Donkey Kong. You're not trying to get to him. You're avoiding bees, but you're on the bottom, like you're kind of like going up maybe a level or two, but you're shooting upwards, hitting him and hitting the bees and stuff like that. You have a spray gun. So basically, it's like Galaga or Space Invaders, except.
Does he control insects in this?
I guess so.
Does he like have an army of bees and other
He's
bugs?
like Gorilla Grodd from DC.
Why would they send an exterminator after a monkey?
I don't know. You went after bees, moths, beetles, and butterflies. I watched it. The game sucks. The game.
They just happen to be there. They're like working with them.
No, I think when he hits, it's weird because I think when he hits the beehive, all of these things come out, which even makes less sense. Like, that doesn't make any sense. I don't understand what's going on in this.
So Stanley the Bugman didn't become a cultural sensation like Mario did.
Yeah, and in the box in the cover art for it, he's holding something, but it's supposed to be like a bug spray can, but it looks like Nos or it looks like a can of like soda or like it doesn't look like bug spray. He looks like the absolutely corniest, stupidest. Trust me, this is basically the equivalent of like Highlander 2 of Donkey Kong games. And just trust me,
No,
don't try to find comparisons. Just trust me.
No,
The weird thing,
reboot is Stanley Bugman.
yeah, because then when they re-released this game, Stanley the Bugman's like, "No, I'm an alien from outer space. I'm not from the past," which makes
Wait,
no sense.
what? Is
That's
that
what I'm
real?
telling you, man. Highlander 2
Oh, wow.
re-released it.
That, that was the other way around. Zeist was taken out of it.
Oh yeah.
That would be if Stanley was from Zeist in the original game, and then they decided he wasn't.
Stanley the Bugman was from Zeist, and Mario had to chop his head off.
Still Zeist. That should be shorthand for anything that doesn't work and that they change. They were from Zeist.
You Zeist
it.
So get this. So Donkey Kong 3 wasn't popular. It was re-released numerous times. Like it was put on the Virtual Wii console and like shit like that. I think people were just like, "Yo, yeah, it's Donkey Kong." Like they didn't realize how much garbage it is. There actually was another version that came out after it came out on the home consoles. It came out for the Game and Watch series, and it was about the size of like a Game Gear, maybe smaller. But there was 2 paddles that came with it, and it was weird because it was a 2-player game where somebody was Stanley and somebody was Donkey Kong, and it was like a shooter, like one on one side, one on the other, and you would shoot. Both of them were using bug spray to shoot bees in the other direction. Like you were trying to push the bees over to Stanley or push the bees over to Donkey Kong. I don't know why Donkey Kong would be doing this.
Yeah, this makes no sense.
He's a gorilla. I don't know why he just doesn't jump over to Stanley and rip his arms off and beat him.
Donkey Kong is maybe Miyamoto was right. He is an idiot.
I mean, he was calling us Americans big idiots, and we are.
Donkey Kong for a reason. This monkey doesn't think things through.
Yeah,
he's using bees as a weapon. He is the weapon.
Who, Stanley?
No, Stanley needs weapons. The Donkey Kong, you're right. Should just be like walking up to him and just like bang him into the pavement.
Yeah, right.
Pound to the head, and his spine fucking collapses.
Oh my god! I want this movie. I want this animated series, and I want this movie now.
So I guess there's no reference to Donkey. Is this like way in the future where Mario has killed off Donkey Kong Jr. and just
Donkey Kong? Maybe this is
taking out his vengeance on humanity.
Maybe this is a prequel. Maybe this is a prequel to the. So this is the chronology. Maybe it's Donkey Kong 3, Donkey Kong Jr. map, Donkey Kong Jr. Oh my god!
Before he had a son and got soft-hearted.
So as a true Donkey Kong fan, if you're an obsessive fan, if you're listening, you have to play all the games in reverse, and that's the story. That's where you get the full Donkey Kong 80s story, and it all makes sense.
Because Stanley and Mario teach him to hate humanity.
Yeah, because Stanley, he was just trying to chill in the greenhouse, like check out flowers, and Stanley's like, "Get the fuck out," and he was spraying him with chemicals.
Maybe that's how he got a son. Chemicals reacted inside his body. Have sex.
He just
like cloned himself.
Oh my god, he's
like a gremlin.
This makes so much sense. Oh god. Okay. Well, as I've told you, it wasn't successful. Donkey Kong 3, nobody cared. By 19, I think the last time it came out was 86 in Nintendo, and then I think on Nintendo again in 87 or 88, there was a Donkey Kong collection released, where it was like all the Donkey Kong games on a Nintendo cartridge. But over the next couple of years, Nintendo's just figured Donkey Kong, the gorilla, and the franchise were just dead. Between like 86 and 94, he was a non-franchise. Like nobody cared. Like what happened between his prime in 81 and 94. I mean, we landed on the moon or something, right? Didn't something happen?
I think there might have been. I think Robin Hood Prince of Thieves came out.
So that's your basis. Like, if you want to remember, forget something, just remember Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves came out in 91. So if you need to find out where you were born or what happened, just remember that.
Was it pre Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves?
Yeah. So in 1989, here's some of the stuff that happened, because we're gonna get into like other media, which is great. I know you're excited about this. In 1989, the Donkey Kong cereal that was introduced in 1981 was discontinued. So in 81, Donkey Kong actually became the first arcade game that became more popular than Pac-Man. So they made a cereal which was dubbed Crunchy Barrels of Fun for breakfast. That's probably why it's discontinued.
Were they barrel shaped?
They might have been.
Was it barrels of bananas?
You know, all those 80s video game cereals, they weren't nothing. They were just, they were all the same shape.
Supposed to be shaped like things, they just never were.
So aside from that,
3POs were O's.
He was also in different media across the 80s. So, Chris, what do you got for me? What kind of media was he in? Cartoons? What were his appearances throughout the 80s?
Donkey Kong, well, I got the big one, which is the Saturday morning CBS cartoon Saturday Supercade, which was 2 seasons, and which was, they basically took all the big video games at the time and turned them into little short cartoon segments, whether they made sense or not for the game. But they basically ran that Saturday mornings with these insane premises for some of these characters. And I guess delighted children everywhere. I do not remember watching this. It was 83. I was a little too young to really be collecting pop culture information. I remember Return of the Jedi, but that's about it. But
what were some of the plots of some of the?
Well, the segments they had Donkey Kong, they had Donkey Kong Jr., which I guess was a spinoff, which is a direct spinoff of the Donkey Kong segment.
So is that canon?
For this series, yes.
Oh my God!
I want to believe it is. There was Frogger, where Frogger was a. I'll get deeper into the Donkey Kong and Donkey Kong Jr. and tell you about the episodes I watched. But first, there is the Frogger stories, which is, for some reason, Frogger is an ace reporter who works at the Swamp Gazette.
I love it already.
And then him and his team, he's got a turtle buddy and a lady frog, and they go out to publish stories in the newspaper, and I guess he fights animal criminals.
Wait, was he like Woodward Bernstein except Frogger?
I guess Fletch, more like, I don't know. Report. He was like a Tintin. Tintin was a reporter who had adventures.
Was he?
Yeah.
I don't remember him being a reporter.
Yeah, he was a reporter. He loved a good adventure. But yeah, Frogger's an ace reporter, because that makes sense. Because, the frog jumping across the street in logs.
Yeah, what better way to make him appeal to kids than to make him a hard-boiled detective?
He's a reporter.
Hard-boiled reporter, sorry. Because that's what all kids want to be when they get older in the 80s.
Q*bert was a 1950s teen.
What?
Who fought greaser bullies. A lot of these shows have a lot of 50s stuff in them. It's really strange.
Why did they think that was a good idea?
I guess Happy Days was popular at the time. It was like 50s nostalgia.
Yeah.
But yeah, Q*bert lives in Q*burg. And
makes sense. That makes sense.
He's like a 50s teeny bopper, and there's bullies, and it looks interesting. I didn't watch that, but I might. Then we also got Pitfall, which is like an animated Indiana Jones, where he's got a Quick Claw, the mountain lion, who's like his cowardly pet.
I should have done an episode on all these.
Space Ace had a.
Oh, I remember Space Ace. I played that game. I never beat it. It fucking sucked.
I don't know if it was actually the Don Bluth animation on the show. It kind of looked close, but I'm not. I don't think it was.
It was his brother, John Bluth.
It was John Bluth, the Jim Hanks.
John Bluth and Jim Hanks made Space Ace.
But then there's another one called Kangaroo, which is a game I never played. I didn't know. I got nothing out of that. There had to have been. That's the whole premise of this thing. But the two big ones, of course, are Donkey Kong, which is not only the first animated media appearance of Donkey Kong, but the first animated Mario. And he's called Mario in the game, in the show. Doesn't have an Italian accent. Just sounds like a generic white, not a generic white dude, generic 80s white dude.
I'm sorry, did you just say the word white?
Yeah, he's a plain white guy.
Wow.
Without the Italian accent, he's got no character.
Okay.
But
I see what kind of podcast this is.
So the premise of the cartoon is that Mario and Pauline work for the circus, and Donkey Kong is just a big goofball. He's not evil at all. He's a big, goofy gorilla. And he talks in mostly grunts, and then just like occasionally a word or two. He's like, and so like, Donkey Kong.
Wait, he says his name?
He does say his name. Not just out of nowhere, but it's at the end of the episode, somebody sets it up, and then he goes, Donkey Kong.
I wish it was out of nowhere. That means he has like a brain hemorrhage. He just fucking says it.
But it's basically Mario and Pauline chasing him around to try and get him back to the circus with like nets and shit. But the episode I watched was how much is that gorilla in the window, and he ends up getting chased into a pet shop. But it starts with him going up onto a roof, and Mario's following him, and he starts just pulling barrels out of a random window and throwing them at Mario.
Perfect.
Couldn't
have asked for a better episode.
And then he ends up getting adopted by this little rich kid. He ends up getting bought from the pet shop by this little rich kid who has these comically evil chauffeur and butler who are trying to steal his family's fortune. and then they're trying to steal Donkey Kong and the kid are bonding. They're best friends because Donkey Kong's he's just a lovable guy. He's great. He's not evil.
With the hemorrhage in his head.
But they end up, Mario comes. They end up thinking the bad guys try and frame Mario for stealing the jewels, and there's lots of wacky slapstick. And then eventually they stop the bad guys. They stop the jewel thieves. Mario and Donkey Kong, I guess, are kind of friends at the end. I guess this is the premise of all of them, where they basically work together, stop a real bad guy, and then they're kind of friends, and then Donkey Kong escapes kid. But the funny part about the end of this one was the kid completely sells out Donkey Kong. Donkey Kong stops the bad guys, and then as Mario and Pauline are about to take Donkey Kong away, Pauline's like, I hope that boy isn't too sad that we're taking away his friend. And then you see the little kid with a little girl, and the kid's taking all the credit for stopping the jewel thieves.
What a piece of shit.
Exactly. Fucking asshole. So then there's a wacky guy. Donkey Kong gets away, and it's all. And then he says, "Come back here," and then he goes, "Donkey Kong." It's so weird.
I gotta find it. Oh man, we need a clip of that. Holy shit.
The better premise, or at least the more insane premise, is Donkey Kong Jr., which takes place clearly in the same universe, because Donkey Kong Jr. is at that same circus that Donkey Kong escaped from. Finds a note from his dad, because Donkey Kong can write. So he finds a note.
So he can only say his name, but he can write?
He can write very legibly, because Donkey Kong Jr. has a picture of his dad that his dad wrote that says, see you around, son, or see you around, son, love dad. It's basically an autograph, which is weird to give to your kid. But Donkey Kong Jr. is sad, and then some 50s greaser finds someone named Bones, who I really wish talked like Fonzie. I was expecting him to after I saw him in the opening. But he just has another bland white guy voice.
What?
So Bones invites Donkey Kong onto his motorcycle with sidecar, which Donkey Kong Jr. drives, and the human sits in the sidecar. Of course. So they go looking for Donkey Kong. And they have adventures. And
how long did the Supercade run for?
It was 2 seasons. It was September 83 to December 84. 26 episodes. All
He's
mixed
belonging
in
to Smithsonian.
And the best part about Donkey Kong Jr. I won't get into the plot of the episode. It was about like Boy Scouts and then escaped prisoner who was trying to make the scout leader and help him find his buried loot with the help of
Why is it always about like jewels and loot and?
because it's the '80s cartoons. They were awesome. That's the premise of everything. But the best is that Donkey Kong Jr. is such a clear ripoff of Scrappy Doo.
Why does he have like a lisp and like?
He sounds just like him, and his catchphrase is whenever he goes into action, he goes "Monkey Muscle." And
Holy shit!
it is Scrappy Doo all the way.
So these were both part of the Supercade?
Both part of the Supercade. I guess every episode would just like happy episode would be one character, the other half would be the other character. And they would mix and match all the different segments. So you never knew what you were going to get.
Huh.
But they were pretty fun. Like, they were fun to watch.
So get this. I looked this up. So the guy that voiced Donkey Kong, his name was Soupy Sales.
Yep.
He was a 50s, 60s comedian. So I did a little research on Soupy because I'm like, I need to know about you, Soupy. So get this. He did one of the best things ever. So he had a kids variety show, and the studio he was working for asked him. They were like, "Yo, dude, yo, Soup, you have to work New Year's Day on 1965. You have to work New Year's Day." And he was just like so bitter and mad that he had to. So what he did was, because he was so mad, he did the episode in the morning, and at the very end of the episode, he told the camera, like he was speaking to the kids in the audience. He was like telling his young viewers to sneak into their parents' room while they were sleeping and remove those funny green pieces of paper with U.S. presidents on it from the wallets and purses, and then put them in an envelope and mail them to me.
Is that for real?
This is for real. And then a couple of days later, the studio and him got tons of letters with thousands of dollars. He tried to pawn it off and say like he was joking. He said like half of the money was like Monopoly money or something like that. But he got suspended for like 2 weeks because he was so pissed off. So he told kids. He could have easily said like, "Yo, sneak in your parents' room and kill your parents," and they would have done it.
I don't think they would have gone that far.
They probably would have
murdered. But that's pretty good. You can only do that. You can probably do that now.
It's great.
What was that? Not Slender Man, the latest monster that kept kids were stupid and thinking it was real.
Oh,
Meeboo?
I know what you're talking about.
Goober?
Yeah, let's just say it's Goober.
Yeah, Goober would show up on your screen and be like, "Mail me your money, and I won't eat your soul."
Yeah. Mail me your money. So what other cartoons was Donkey Kong in?
Well, I don't have any more
stuff.
I have Pixels.
We'll get to Pixels. I know how excited you are about Pixels. I don't know
why.
Not
excited about Pixels, but that's all. That's the only other thing he's been in. Donkey Kong. He made an appearance on Captain N at a couple.
So I'll talk about that because after the Supercade, there was a Donkey Kong Jr. show, I believe, just by itself in the mid '80s, and Frank Welker was the voice of Donkey Kong Jr.
He was the voice of Donkey Kong Jr. on Supercade, and Peter Cullen was the voice of Mario. I didn't mention that.
What? You should have fucking mentioned that. He might be listening.
It was Optimus Prime.
Yeah. So Captain N, for anyone listening, you probably should know this, but Captain N, the Game Master, was a show about a real life kid that gets sucked into a game, and he just hangs out with video game characters. I would love to just talk about this show nonstop because Mega Man sounds like he ate an ashtray. Simon Belmont from Castlevania.
That's gotta be more episode.
Yeah, everyone does not look or sound like the characters they're supposed to be.
Because they couldn't get the rights.
Yeah. But anyway, the show was on in 1989. That was the same year Donkey Kong Serial got canceled. So he's becoming a joke at this point. So He was the ruler of Conga Land. He was only in a few episodes. He wasn't in a lot. But he was hot-tempered. But he's also super wacky in it, which is really weird because in one scene, he's seen either getting in or getting out of a bathtub in the middle of the jungle, and he's wearing a towel and he's wearing a hairnet. So I really want that to make sense, but it just doesn't. But it's so fucking stupid. So at this point, he's just a joke. Like, nobody cared about Donkey Kong. Everyone's like, okay. He's done for it. Mario's a hit.
Mario's a star. Donkey Kong's useless.
And I was wondering between his prime in 81 and to 94, where I'll let you talk about a little bit. He didn't really do anything. He was in 1992's Mario Kart. But here's the weird thing.
Like, he's still a popular character. Like, everyone still knew who Donkey Kong was.
Everyone still knew him, but like Mario was taking over. So he was in Mario Kart, the 1992 Super Nintendo game. But here's the thing. It wasn't Donkey Kong. It was Donkey Kong Jr., which raises even more questions. So apparently, I mean...
Eventually, if you want to accept any of all these games as canon, there's so many Super Smash Brothers and racing games and tennis games that you want to try and make all this canon. They're all fighting each other and then going to play tennis together.
Like, basically.
None of this makes sense.
So Donkey Kong Jr. is the one that's in Mario Kart. So after that, his big year was 1994. So we already talked about in 1994, Nintendo sort of remade Donkey Kong and Donkey Kong Jr. combined and released a Game Boy game just called Donkey Kong. And it was his first introduction of him wearing a tie. They changed up the levels. They renamed the guy Mario in it. And you said, it was a combination, like Donkey Kong Jr. was also in it, right?
Right.
So, they wanted the original Big Ape to come back, and out came Donkey Kong Country in 1994 for the Super Nintendo, right?
Yep.
And did you ever play Donkey Kong Jr.?
I never got into Donkey Kong.
Or Donkey Kong Country, sorry. I meant to say Donkey Kong Country.
I never got into any of the Donkey Kong Country games. I knew they existed. Like, I remembered that they were things. But they were, like, never games I had stopped playing video games really a lot at that point. So I basically knew of them. Yeah, there was a little brief period. Cool. There was a brief period where before video games got all cinematic and story driven, that I would play them occasionally, but I wouldn't really get into them as much.
Wow.
Missed a lot. All right.
You did. So Donkey Kong Country was released on the Super Nintendo. Now here's the thing. It's the first 3D iteration of Donkey Kong. Mario Kart Donkey Kong doesn't count. Now before we get into the game, you said you figured out or looked up his lineage or his whole family, right?
There's a whole cast of Donkey Kong characters now.
All right, because this is where some of the cast is introduced. Name off some of those Donkey Kong family members, and we'll try to decipher who the real Donkey Kong is. Could be any one of these people.
Oh, so you don't want me to say who Donkey Kong is?
I mean, okay, so in this game, you play as Donkey Kong, but you also get help from his quote-unquote nephew, Diddy Kong, which, when it came out, people just assumed Diddy Kong was his son. But when you find out that this Donkey Kong is actually Donkey Kong the Third.
So wait, I thought it was that the modern Donkey Kong is actually Junior.
No. So this is Donkey Kong the Third. So every game from Donkey Kong Country on, this motherfucker is Donkey Kong the Third. Okay. Donkey Kong Jr., who was in Mario Kart, just disappeared. He took his wife, and he was like, I'm out of here. Like, I'm not...
I don't want anything to do with your nonsense King Kong adventures.
Yeah.
Donkey Kong adventures.
So in it, it's about Diddy Kong is watching a fucking bunch of bananas, and this ruler, King K. Rool, comes out. He kidnaps him, and Donkey Kong has to go find his nephew throughout different levels. I just played it for the first time maybe last year. It's a blast.
King K. Rool. I get it.
I never played it. It's a blast. We never owned a Super Nintendo when we were younger. But I can see why people loved it. It was a big deal when it came out because their marketing, they spent so much money marketing this because it was this is what Donkey Kong looks like for a third dimension. These sprites are really expensive. Let's push the shit out of this.
That always seemed like a fun platform game.
Yeah.
Like what Ratchet and Clank became later. Just an earlier version of that stuff.
Mm-hmm. It was developed, so Donkey Kong Country came out in 1994. It's developed by Rare and published by Nintendo. It was basically the start of the Mark II Donkey Kong, Mark II of the franchise. The game centers on Donkey Kong, his nephew Diddy Kong. They're on a quest to recover bananas from King K. Rool and his henchman Kremlings.
Always about bananas.
So his extended Donkey family is in this. So there's also an old Donkey Kong named Cranky Kong, which find out who is Cranky Kong.
He is the actual, wait for it, 80s Donkey Kong, who gets renamed Cranky Kong.
For some fucking reason.
He's not Donkey Kong anymore.
He decided to change his name to Cranky Kong. Because, okay,
does he refer to himself as Cranky Kong, or is that just like a mean thing other people say? Because his wife is named Wrinkly Kong. And I don't know that that's her name.
You think people just called his wife Wrinkly Kong and it was insulting?
I think these Kongs are dicks.
Yeah, probably.
It is kind of mean. Oh, you got old. You're Wrinkly Kong now.
You're disgusting.
You disgust us.
Wrinkly Kong was the original name of Donkey Kong's dick. You ever know that?
That makes sense.
It makes so much sense.
That was going to be Donkey Kong 4 if Donkey Kong 3 had been a hit.
Yeah. They were going all in. So before they started making Donkey Kong Country, Nintendo gave Rare, the company Rare, permission to make it because they saw somebody from Nintendo was visiting Rare Studios and they were experimenting with Silicon graphics at a workstation, and they were trying to create like a 3D sprite in a 2.5D environment, but they were trying to make a boxing game and it just wasn't working. And someone from a senior Nintendo staff member was visiting them, just like checking them out, and they were like, "Yo, I really like what you're doing. Let's buy your company." So they acquired almost half of Rare, like in general. So everyone, if anyone doesn't know who Rare is, if anyone's ever played GoldenEye 64, Rare owns that. So Rare owns Banjo-Kazooie, Donkey Kong Country. Rare came out a lot of famous games, and they started using this tech that Rare was playing with.
Battletoads. They did Battletoads.
They did Battletoads too. And Nintendo gave them permission. They were like, "We want to make a new Donkey Kong game. We think you're going the right way. Let's work together. Let's fucking do this. Let's bring back Donkey Kong." But you know what? His son doesn't want to be a part of it. So let's pay his grandson some money.
Son didn't want to be part of it.
Yeah, basically. So 20 people, only 20 people worked on Donkey Kong Country. Yeah, bet you didn't fucking know that. Cool. It took 18 months to make. I guess that makes sense because nowadays, like, it takes years to make games. 18 months, probably like a year's equivalent.
Probably a while, and they weren't putting as much into these games as they. I was like they weren't going as deep as they do now. Like they only had so much to work. I mean, I'm not saying they weren't doing their best, but like games are really like with the customizable stuff and all the backgrounds and the environments. I can see how it takes longer.
Yeah. So Rare played like I guess a demo for Nintendo, and one of Nintendo's notes were like, "Hey, reduce the difficulty because we want people to like this game. We want them to be okay at it, not to be fucking hard as shit." So
we want people to feel smart because we know they're idiots. Basically.
At this point, Shigeru Miyamoto didn't really have anything to do with Donkey Kong anymore, but he made like suggestions to the teams, and they like kind of went with it. They were just like, "Okay, you created this dude. Like, of course we'll listen to you."
Like, yeah, but was it? Did they really listen to him, or was it like George Lucas, where they were like, "We're gonna listen to you"? Wait, you want more midichlorians? Okay, no.
Wait a minute. Okay, get out of here.
You want to do 3 movies about the midichlorian universe? Yeah.
I want to make a movie about Watto. Let's make a movie about Watto. So, can you take a guess at what the fucking marketing for Donkey Kong Country was? This is 1994 money.
Let's see. It was the 90s. Everybody was trying to be cool. There was probably a rap song involved.
Oh, that comes later. That was not involved in this.
I don't know. Do they have like a deal with Chuck E. Cheese?
Well, no. Just what do you think the number is?
The number?
Yeah, like how much their marketing budget was.
Oh, we didn't say that.
Yes.
You said, guess what the marketing was?
I said budget.
I don't know, $50,000. I don't know money.
Ew, you're disgusting. $3.76 million.
Holy shit! I was way off.
Well, I mean, you were thinking that's a lot in '94. That's like Richie Rich money.
It's true. That is Richie Rich money.
Yeah.
That's how much Richie Rich the movie made. You're right.
Get this. This is kind of wild. To promote it, Nintendo held an online campaign through an internet server called Compulserve that involved downloading video samples of the game. A trivia contest in which 800 people participated. That's not a lot at all, because nobody had internet. Why the fuck would you hold an internet contest for people that don't have internet?
That is true. They got everybody.
Yeah, so the 800 people that participated are probably the 800 richest people on the planet.
At AOL.
Yeah, and it was also an hour-long online chat conference attended by 80 people. That is insane. What? Also, to promote it, they sent to subscribers of Nintendo Power Magazine, they sent a 15-minute VHS tape titled Donkey Kong Country Exposed. It was hosted by a comedian. He shows like a brief tour of the Nintendo headquarters, and they showed like footage of the game. So it was probably like a big deal because it's probably like when they showed Mario 3 and the Wizard. They were like, people are coming in their pants. They're like, holy shit, Donkey Kong's back. At the end of the video, which is interesting, a segment at the end of the video reminds viewers that you can only play it on the Super Nintendo and not the rival Sega 32X or the Sega CD. So they made sure they reminded you can't play this on the Sega CD.
Basically, like, you're a scumbag if you have Sega.
Yeah. You're a slut if you like Sega. So Nintendo, what did you say? You said McDonald's or something. Nintendo partnered with Kellogg's. And they did a Donkey Kong Country cereal. Which is interesting, I guess. I mean, fucking...
It's probably delicious. It's probably the same shapes as the other Donkey Kong cereal that they discontinued.
Yeah, it's probably barrels of fun, and it probably got discontinued right away.
It's all the stale, leftover Donkey Kong cereal.
Yeah.
They had.
So, give me some names of Donkey Kong's friends.
Well, did we mention Diddy Kong?
We did not. I was leaving Diddy Kong to you because, that's all you want to talk about.
Diddy Kong is the new star of this series, kinda. Because I think the original idea was that Diddy Kong was supposed to be Donkey Kong Jr., but Miyamoto, I don't remember if it was Miyamoto or Nintendo, they didn't like his new design, so they were like, no, you can't call him. I guess they were trying to hip him up for the 90s. He wasn't just in his onesie with a J on it.
Yeah.
Never goes out of style. But whoever was like, no, you can't make him Donkey Kong Jr. Look at that rude young man. He's got a backwards hat, probably. And
well, I think it was sideways, which was even ruder.
Sideways hat. He probably talks back. He probably listens to Pearl Jam.
Yep.
We don't like this. You can't call him Donkey Kong Jr. So that Rare was like, cool. We don't want to call him Donkey Kong Jr. anyway. We'll call him Diddy Kong because we'll just make a new character. Fuck off, old man. This ain't your daddy's Donkey Kong.
Yeah, basically. They were trying to make it hip and it failed or worked. I don't know which one.
So Diddy Kong basically he was like the secondary protagonist of the franchise and Donkey Kong's sidekick. I think he was supposed to be... No, this is where I'm reading that they went back and forth. Like I said, the Donkey Kong that's not Cranky Kong. This is so confusing.
See?
That I said was supposed to be Junior. They did retcon it in Donkey Kong 64 that he was Junior, and then they retconned it back to where he was the third. So,
I think in the animated series, I mean, we could talk about that briefly, but the shitty CGI animated series, Cranky Kong, I think, calls Donkey Kong son. And then that's one of the times they retconned it again because they were like, oh, wait, he just said it as slang. And I'm like, what? Who says son is slang? What is... Why are you named Cranky Kong? Why is your wife wrinkly? What is going on right now?
This is nonsense.
This is nonsense.
They were trying to build a world around this Kong Island that was invaded by, what are they, crocodiles?
Yeah, it's basically all King K. Rool was. He was giant, right? He was a giant crocodile.
Giant crocodile. He feels like, when I looked at pictures of him, he's like a Sly Cooper villain.
Yeah, basically. Yeah, yeah,
If you're familiar with all his animal thief villains,
yeah. King K. Rool would fit perfectly in Sly Cooper's universe.
I would love a massive team up between
Yeah.
Sly and Donkey Kong and what's the other one? Ratchet and Clank, Jag and
Yeah,
Daxter,
that's your super crossover.
Banjo Kazooie,
So
Nathan
Chris,
Drake.
for all those young boys that would want to maybe lust after a girl monkey, is there a girl
Yeah.
monkey in these games?
I believe that would be Candy Kong, which does sound like a monkey stripper. But
Yeah.
Candy Kong.
Which is disgusting that they made this hooker Donkey Kong monkey. Jesus Christ.
Oh wait, no. Candy Kong, Dixie Kong is the girlfriend.
Wait,
Which
is
one-
she? I don't know which one I was talking about, to be honest. I forgot even Candy Kong existed.
I think Candy Kong was the one that was supposed to be the sex pot.
Who is she related? Is she part of the family?
She is Donkey Kong's girl. She is Donkey Kong's girlfriend. Diddy Kong's girlfriend is Dixie. They all have the same last name.
Yeah, well, that doesn't make sense.
Gross.
If they're all Kongs, they're all just fucking each other. They're all part of the same lineage.
She in the game, she was just like doing different things for the Kongs throughout the games. Like she would do save points and basically give them watermelons, which was life. But she wore headphones. She had a pink short sleeve top, pink shorts, and she was on a 2007.net top 10 disturbingly sexual game characters.
Ew. First off,
So
why
they
are you
tried-
on that site?
What?
You were already on that site, weren't you?
I had already known that because I
You
voted
already
for
all known that by heart. You're
She was
sick.
number 2.
You're sick.
A poster on my wall.
Well, that
Wait,
yeah,
cut that out.
that brings even more questions because isn't Candy Kong? Isn't she like more human-esque than the others?
I guess they tried to make her look like hot, but I mean, it's still.
Which is weird. But also, if she's more human-esque,
technology
does that mean she had a one human parent, one monkey parent? Wait, maybe her mom is Pauline and maybe her dad is Donkey Kong?
That makes sense. But wait, Donkey Kong's super old, so Pauline would be super old. I feel like she's supposed to be young. She's supposed to be Diddy Kong's. She's supposed to be more a juniors league.
None of this makes sense, and it's really confusing me.
But then there's Dixie Kong, who's more the tomboy good girl.
So this game was huge. This game, I know. I mean, we talked about
We didn't talk about Funky Kong. There's so many more Kongs.
Oh, then bring it, because he's in that too. Funky Kong's in it.
Funky Kong is super cool. He would be the guy selling you weapons and like vehicles, and I guess now if they'd updated it, he'd be selling you like clothes for your little video game doll. Like, here's new boots. Ooh, the stuff that you like.
I love DLC. If
That's
anybody out there wants to send me DLC, I have a Patreon coming up. If you want to, send me some DLC to any game ever.
Wow. Anyway, you whore. But but Funky Kong he was the one who I guess was trying to be even cooler than Diddy Kong.
Mm-hmm.
He would have like camouflage clothing. Well, originally he had camouflage clothing and goggles and a rocket because he was the weapons guy. But then he basically became a surfer dude.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, I remember.
The show, they gave him a Jamaican accent for some reason.
That is racist and doesn't make sense at all.
So he's like the super lazy, just like chill Matthew McConaughey Kong. Basically.
Hey there, Donkey. All right.
Hi, Donkey Kong. We won't fight those Kremlings over there. Best thing about Candy Kong is she gets older and I stay the same age.
Ew.
I did that backwards.
I'm recording that and I'm saving it and I'm sending it to the cops. You're sick. And I'm sending it to Nintendo.
But I said it wrong, so it wasn't even dirty.
You're still a pervert. So Anyone else?
Ah,
At least in this game. I know there's others, but at least in this game. Is there anyone else?
these are just all the Kongs ever. So I guess we got all the Donkey Kong Country characters.
Yeah. So Donkey Kong Country was humongous. I fucking remember this being all over the place. Within a month of its launch in the US, its sales hit almost 1 million copies. Everybody loved it. There's a game soundtrack that came out called the DK Jams. Like the whole soundtrack was very like Caribbean, like melodic.
Yeah, it's an island. It was
Yeah.
island tunes.
So everyone loved the game. Everyone loved like the vibe of it. Donkey Kong was back. He was back. Some of the reviews were like 10 out of 10, 9.25 out of 10. I don't really feel like reading all these because somebody see this is really weird. So I'm reading like scores from reviews, and this is so stupid because this one game magazine is a 9.25 out of 10. And then this other company's grading system is a 31 out of 40. Why would a 40 be your threshold? Like, why would 40 be your top, your 10 out of 10?
That's they want it to be like 10 to the extreme.
Yeah, that just doesn't make sense. And to give him a 31 out of 40, like you're almost there. You're almost there.
You almost got to the 40, 31 stars.
Get this fucking shit right here.
Guess
who criticized? Guess who's the one person that hated Donkey Kong Country?
Mario.
Nope.
Jumpman.
My boy Miyamoto.
Of course, they took his character and they sold him out.
He said the gameplay was mediocre.
What a dick.
But then they wrote him a check and he was like, let's get ready to rock and roll.
If I say mediocre, I meant genius. More money, please.
So Donkey Kong Country was released like a bajillion times. You know there's 2 sequels. Do you know the names of the sequels?
I don't know. There's Donkey Kong Country 2 and 3, but I don't see subtitles. So no, I don't know.
They stayed on the Super Nintendo for the next 2 sequels. It was Donkey Kong Country 2, Diddy Kong's Quest, and Donkey Kong Country 3, Dixie Kong's Double Trouble. The first one was 95. This one was 96. So this is funny because in the first one, you're Donkey Kong trying to save everybody else. In 2 and 3, Donkey Kong's like the damsel in distress. Like he's the one that got kidnapped. He's the one.
Twist in Donkey Kong.
Yeah, so
it all comes back.
He went back to his roots of the one getting kidnapped from Donkey Kong Jr. He trusted the humans, and he just got kidnapped again.
He betrayed him.
He should have ripped out Ruben Glade's spine. I'm telling you, he should have just done it. So the reason why the first time I played this was when it was released on the Super Nintendo Mini, the classic, and I bought that. And I was like, oh, Donkey Kong Country's on it. Let me play that. And I had a blast, and it sucked because they only have the first one on there. But there is tons of games in the Donkey Kong Country series.
Yeah.
But they're all it's weird because some of them are like arcade games. They're like one of them's like the bongo one, the jungle one where you have I think it was the GameCube, like the drums.
Yeah, there's like all different like rhythm games and racing games.
So they haven't. I don't think they've made a proper sequel since probably the best game in the Donkey Kong series for me at least was Donkey Kong 64.
That was big. I remember when that came out.
Yeah, that was fucking. I was the biggest loser of all time when that came out. I was so excited. Came out in '99. It's this huge 3D world, and there's more Donkey Kong family. Do you remember the guys' names? Anyone else in his family name?
Where?
He has more family.
Oh no, there is more family.
So he has.
I do not know if they came from 64, but.
So there's Chunky Kong.
I do have Chunky Kong.
There's Tiny Kong.
Fat.
There's
Kitty Kong is a large baby.
Lanky Kong.
Lanky
I always hated playing as Lanky Kong because Lanky Kong just freaked me out with his long arms.
Yeah, it's Slender Man.
Yeah, it was really disgusting and really disturbing.
There's Swanky Kong, who is like a I guess a game show host Kong.
It doesn't make any sense. It does not make sense. I remember Donkey Kong 64 came out. The cartridge was yellow like a banana. I don't know if you remember that.
I don't.
That got me excited. So Donkey Kong Country was like the first open 3D world with Donkey Kong characters. And you can choose, you can play as any of these guys. It came out on November 22nd, 1999. So it's
Grand Theft Auto for Kongs.
It's almost 20 years old, which is kind of crazy because I distinctly remember this game a lot.
Nice.
But people made fun of it because this game was basically a collect-a-thon. Like you had to collect this thing, and then the next thing is you automatically had to collect this thing, and that's all it was. And people hated it. But the one thing that I specifically remember about it is at some point in the bad guys, I think King K. Rool is still the bad guy. Yeah, King K. Rool is still the bad guy. But in somewhere in like one of his factories, there's an arcade cabinet. And I think you need golden bananas to play it. But when you use golden bananas, you can play the original Donkey Kong in its entirety.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah.
That's actually cool.
Yeah, I remember always keeping that. I always kept that save data that picked me up in the factory because I would always go back and play it.
That's awesome.
So another thing, because this game's 20 years old. I don't know why it hasn't been re-released way more times. It was only later released once on the Wii U Virtual Console, and that was 3 years ago. It is crazy that this hasn't been like put back out. Maybe because Rare, I don't think Rare's still around, or Rare's like, there's some rights issue. But this had the fucking best thing ever. It had the Donkey Kong rap song.
Oh, there it is.
It did it like started off and it started talking about the DK gang, and it did a number on every single person. And it's the intro of the game. And it even did Cranky Kong. And like the announcer was like rapping it, and he would show them they were dancing, and they were like Cranky Kong.
It was a party. They wanted you to have fun with this game.
Yeah, I don't think that was the line that he likes to fart, but I'm pretty sure it probably was. Wrinkly Kong, she's dead.
Wow, dark.
I wish that was the line.
Kong is cool but rude, and Wrinkly Kong is a party dude.
That's basically what it was. They also, a really funny thing they did was when they were developing it while the other games were out, they didn't want to make a direct sequel, so this is technically Donkey Kong Country 4, but not. They wanted to release a disc add-on to the N64, and they wanted to give it more power, and then like stuff wound up getting like kind of jumbled. So other games that were similar that came out were Banjo-Kazooie and its sequel, Conker. So they're very similar. If you've ever played those games, it's exactly what Donkey Kong 64 is.
I knew Rare had made Donkey Kong Country, so I knew it was similar gameplay.
Yeah.
But they're fun. They're fun games, and they still look good. They still look fun. Like, unless you're really going to be a jerk about, low quality...
low polygon count. That's a running joke on this show.
Low polygon count.
Low polygon count. So Donkey Kong 64 was the first of two games to need the N64 expansion pack.
Cool.
And it was actually shipped. It was actually shipped to the expansion pack, and I remember thinking, like, holy shit, this is awesome. It's weird because the expansion pack was previously only used to power, like, textures. But in Donkey Kong 64's case, it was marketed to make the game better. Before it was just like, oh, you might not use it or need it. But for Donkey Kong Country, they were like, this is the only thing you need. Drink Mountain Dew, eat Doritos, and get an expansion pack.
Basically, it's piss without it.
Yeah. So they made it specifically, like, even on the box art of Donkey Kong 64 was like a picture of the expansion pack, and they were like, only use the expansion pack, like shit like that. And I'm like, okay, Dad, buy it, please, get it. So what they did was, according to one of the programmers of the game, the company couldn't resolve a bug that was in the game without the expansion pack. So they actually were forced to bundle it with the game, because if they didn't, there was like a bug that would ruin the entire game. But the only way to fix it was to have the expansion pack. So they had to it was more expensive to ship it with the expansion pack, so to bundle it with the memory upgrade.
Yeah.
So they kind of had to, then rather than selling it separately, because it's like, hey, our game's broken, but you have to buy this.
Yeah, I thought you were gonna go that way. I thought they were gonna be like, gotta buy the expansion pack. What are you gonna do?
This
Not
game's
play our
broken.
game? Your
You won't
friends
be
will
able to hear the
hate you.
final line of the rap song because it's disgusting.
Is it the N word like Star Fox?
Yeah, basically, Star Fox's first word is the N word. Donkey Kong's last word is the N word. And
Makes sense.
that's why Rare isn't making games anymore.
Circle of life.
Yeah. So I mean, we're gonna end on Donkey Kong 64. I vividly remember this game, sort of. I guess not, because if I only remember the part where I play old Donkey Kong, I guess I don't remember this game as well. But I remember it coming out. I remember the expansion pack. I remember it being a yellow cartridge. I don't know. Did you not play this at all?
Again, I wasn't playing. Like, I remember you playing it. I remember it existing and just being like, nah, not for me. I want to play Shadows of the Empire.
Yeah. Well, guess what? Guess who made out on that one? Not Dash Rendar from Shadows of the Empire.
He survived, so him and his.
Oh yeah, you did. You just ruined it. You fucking asshole. You ruined it. That's the good ending.
Not even canon anymore. Nobody cares.
If you don't do something at the end of that game, you don't know he survives.
It's fake. Like it's Legends. Nobody cares.
No, it's not to me.
It's Legends. Star Wars Legends. Shadows of the Empire.
It's forever real.
Prince Shizo.
So perfect way to end this episode, at least with talking about the games, because it's almost November. It's 2019. I mean, Donkey Kong 64, the last true Donkey Kong game, came out almost 20 years ago. And I kind of wish that, I mean, I don't have a Switch. I don't have anything that would play Nintendo games, but I kind of wish that they would re-release this in some capacity. Like, I would play this in a heartbeat.
I'm surprised. I'm surprised they haven't rebooted the whole franchise, because it was really popular and there's a lot of characters that people seem to enjoy, even though before looking it up for doing the show, I had no clue who any of these characters were, but they all seem kind of fun, and I'm sure you could update. Like, you don't have to make the one like a sexy monkey. I'm sure you could do something more with her.
A sexy monkey? Ew, you think she's sexy? You're disgusting.
That's the thing they're selling. That's what I read.
Right. You're disgusting, but get this. Ready? Donkey Kong 64. Take a guess at what their marketing budget was.
Sorry.
You're disgusting. Donkey Kong, take a guess. Remember, Donkey Kong Country was 3.75. What's the marketing budget for Donkey Kong 64?
Oh man, stop making me guess numbers. Oh, $50 million.
No, half of that. 22 million.
Oh shit.
But that's still a lot of money. And they showed commercials before movies in movie theaters across the holiday season.
Ooh, I don't remember that.
Can you imagine? Like, they don't. I guess they do. I don't really know.
I've seen video game commercials before movies. This
is different.
I've seen Gears of War 5 commercials when I go to the movies.
Hey, you know what? Don't talk about games that we're not talking about here. All right.
I'm just saying it's not out of the ordinary. So quit pretending like maybe it was odd at the time.
What if fucking episode 5000 I would decide to talk about Gears of War and I can't because this episode.
So anything that gets mentioned is off the table.
You fucking you blow it. So Donkey Kong Country, they wanted to sell 4 million copies, and I think they did. There's a lot of numbers for this game, but let's just assume they sold 4 million copies. This game's huge. I think it sold more than
fucking Block. It was the Avengers Endgame at this time.
It was the Avengers Endgame at the time. It took everyone's favorite, non-favorite Kongs, put them in one game, and had them fight the ultimate villain.
I like it.
A lot of people did shit on it because it took so long to make, and other games that looked better already came out. So it had a huge marketing budget, but it wasn't as critically well received.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, just like Donkey Kong himself, his life was confused. People looked at him one way, he was really another. He was just an abused monkey. Donkey Kong Country was just a good time. People wanted story. No, not in Donkey Kong 64. You're just gonna get a bunch of stupid moron monkeys trying to pick up bananas.
I mean, they tried to expand the basic Well, I mean, they didn't expand the idea of the first game, but they took the character and were like, hey, let's build a world around him. Like let's give him a family. I don't know why they didn't just use Donkey Kong, why they had to have him become like the grandpa. Like they had him become Luke Skywalker in Last Jedi, basically.
It's weird. So here's what we're gonna do.
I respect the idea there, and again, I still think Donkey Kong probably is still one of the more recognizable and popular video game characters, even though he's not currently in any hit games. Like you tell somebody Donkey Kong, they know exactly what you're talking about. Can't say that about like Banjo-Kazooie. Most people would just be just like, "Are you having a stroke?"
Banjo-Kazooie. Oh.
Banjo-Kazooie.
You're either swallowing cum or having a stroke.
What?
Yeah, I said it. So as Donkey Kong, I'm gonna give him a grade. So I like to grade everything on the show. So again, Donkey Kong's grade. He gets a D+.
What?
That's my grade for his life.
What are you gonna? I thought we were sympathizing with him because he was abused.
Yeah, but like, no, just a D. He gets a D+. His whole entire life, he gets a D+.
Damn, you're harsh.
Well, the plus sign. If you look at the plus sign a certain way, it looks like a K. So if I say a DK, his grade is DK. You know what I'm saying?
I don't like this part of the show.
Wow. Do you just want me to like? What do you want from me?
I don't know why you wouldn't let me talk about Pixels earlier.
Okay, no. Oh my God! Finally, go ahead.
Now it's going to be a big deal. It's not.
Everybody, stop what you're doing. Turn the podcast on full volume. We're gonna have Chris talk about Pixels, the Adam Sandler film about video games.
Yeah, Donkey Kong's in Pixels. That's it.
Thank you, Chris. This has been the best episode ever because of that.
Pixels is about aliens who make video games happen, and then for some reason, President Kevin James and his friends are good at video games. So, like, yeah, they can probably do that shit in real life. So the big final boss is Adam Sandler is Jumpman and has to fight Donkey Kong and jump over barrels and shit.
This sounds fucking terrible.
It's a terrible movie, but I mean the sequence, like visually, isn't bad. Like I watched the second half of that movie on mute, and it was all right.
On mute. Wow. You hear that, Sandler? He watched your fucking movie on mute.
Do you know that was his last movie that was actually in theaters?
I did not know that. That's kind of wild.
2015. That was right before Netflix, and he's been doing Netflix movies for the last 5 years.
Wait, what year was that?
That was 2015.
Wow, that's crazy.
And he's got like 86 movies on Netflix now.
Yeah.
He's okay.
So let's get this straight.
Bring up.
Donkey Kong started Mario's career, and he ended Adam Sandler's career.
Kind of did. No, he didn't. He's making tons of money. He's got, again, I told you, all the Netflix movies. They're huge.
I'm going to edit that part out. I'm going to edit that part out because what I said sounded really good. All right.
Another movie related thing I noticed because it was on right before I started recording with you was War for the Planet of the Apes. The trader monkey, is named Donkey, which I would assume is a Donkey Kong reference.
I hope so. But they labeled Donkey as a traitors.
Yeah.
That's what they call him, Donkey.
You befriended Mario at some point and played tennis with him.
Fair enough. All right. So on that note, if you've listened to other episodes, Chris, every single time I had episodes with a segment, and weirdly, I always end the episodes, every single episode, with this exact segment. It just lines up with, what we're doing. So my segment is called Chris or Donkey Kong. It's a game where I play a sound clip, and you have to decide whether it's a clip of you or Donkey Kong. It's weird because I play this game all the time in every single episode. It just weirdly, it matches up with this one.
That's so bizarre.
It's so weird. I didn't see this one coming. Okay, so I'm going to play a sound effect. And I'm going to have you guess what it is, all right? Are you ready? Are you scared?
I'm pissing myself. Go.
Okay. Did you hear that?
That's just me breathing.
You're correct. That was you. That was you. It was not Donkey Kong. So you're one. You got 1 point. 1 donkey point.
What do I get if I win?
Who knows?
No, you know worse.
All right.
Ready for another one? Me on your podcast again? Because that would be great.
Here's another one. Here's question 2. Chris or Donkey Kong? Did you hear that one?
It's close to how it sounds when I fart, but I'm going to say Donkey Kong.
False. It is you.
That is me? Huh.
It's you. I'm sorry. It's just... Now, we have one more. Now, I hope you get this right, because if you don't, it's a common thing. If you don't get the answers correct, you're dead. You don't get to show up on the
wait. Don't know what happens if I win, but you know that I'm dead if I lose.
You're correct. So number 3. This is the 3rd sound clip. Remember, Chris or Donkey Kong. This might be the same one. Let's see. You ready? Oh, that was the same one.
It's the same one. You are a mess.
Was that Donkey Kong or you?
Is that one of them like mean gorillas from Congo?
Was it Donkey Kong or you?
There's a theme here, so I'm gonna say me.
Again, I play this game every single episode. It's just so weird that you're here today with me in the studio. You're right next to me. I'm out, if nobody can see this, but we're touching each other on the shoulder right now. Because I want him to know that I made this game for him. So was it Donkey Kong or you? I'm sorry?
I said probably me, because they're all me.
I'm sorry, it was actually Donkey Kong.
Oh no, shocker.
Yeah. Sorry. It was him saying the N-word.
He couldn't tell.
He just couldn't get it out of his mouth. I was like, but that was I think that was taken from one of the early Donkey Kong games. That
was him when he met Star Fox.
Yeah, he met Cloud McFox or Fox McCloud, whatever the fuck that guy's name is. But yeah, so you know what? I'm gonna let you live because I didn't have a prize for you if you won, and I don't want to get rid of you just yet. I want you to be. Maybe someday you can come again. Maybe you could talk about the Supercade Saturday morning cartoons or
Saturday Supercade.
Yeah, whatever you said. So, thank you for joining me and talking about. God, we talked for a while about Donkey Kong.
I did longer than I expected it to be.
Way longer than I expected it to be because I didn't expect to talk about,
I felt like I didn't have enough information. You had a lot.
I mean, Donkey Kong, he brought out the best of me. This is probably going to be the least listened episode ever, but he brought out the best of me. And I'm a better monkey.
Always get to the end of this.
All right. Wow. Well, thank you for being on my show. Thank you for giving me all the information. Do you want to plug anything? I don't know.
I was going to say, podcast tradition. You have to ask me what I want to plug.
Yeah, go ahead.
You can find me nowhere and on nothing.
Perfect.
Because none of you know who I am, so it doesn't matter. I don't really have anything, but I appreciate the offer. And if I ever have a podcast, I will come back here and you can recut. You can do the special edition of this episode and put in my plugs.
No, well, what we're going to do is I'm just going to edit out all of your dialogue so it just sounds like I'm talking to myself. That's just going to be a better episode. So here we are, the end of the episode. So I want to thank you. If anyone wants to follow me, I, of course, have social media. It's WT Famicom on Instagram and Twitter. I don't have a Facebook because I'm not a sheeple, so don't go looking for me. But I am a monkey. I'm a monkey at heart. So thank you for listening, and have a good evening. Have a good morning. Wherever you are, even if you're on Congo Island, you know what I'm saying, Kong? So then also, my catchphrase, game over, everybody. All right.
That's your catchphrase?
I don't know. I made it up.
I don't know if you call it the bang on the door.